Immortality.
She want that old thing back. Turn me up the headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I share. Peace to the gods. I share.
Immortality.
She want that old thing back. Turn me up the headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I share. Peace to the gods. I share. Peace to the earth. I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings. I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Yeah, it's peace king when you see me in the street. Proper greeting, to not acknowledge a light being. It's not the season, no ego. Clearly the leader of the people. Vision like Calico. This for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rego. I'm praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the crib while he's peeking through the peephole. Never thought it would be divine evil. Creeping with that heat close. They say I walk around like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold-plated no baguettes on my chest. Life a movie. Words got special effects. A old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they show respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. You feel me? You gotta know what time it is, man. Reach the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one. That's what it is. Ashe, Ashe, peace to the gods. Ashe, 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 peace to the earth. Ashe, peace king, peace king, peace to the kings. Ashe, peace queen, peace queen, peace to the queens. Ashe, the quarterback need protection from. Come on in, come on in. Let's get it. Let's get this work, man. I promise you they don't want you to get this work today. I promise you. Y'all don't know what I gotta go through behind the scenes to get this joint rocking, man. Woo! They can't stop it, though. Too geeky. Let's go. Put your nines up. Let me know where you're from. Put your nines up. Let me know where you're from so we can find you and get you connected. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's get this work. Let's feel that energy. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Rise and grind. Rise and grind. It's that time. Yup. Yup. Let it ring out. Before I begin and get y'all this work, we got to shout out the first 9, the first who came on board, the ones who were patient. You know, we got to make sure we show them some love and appreciation. So, first and foremost, I want to shout out Levi Bell, longtime supporter Levi Bell. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do for being here. Melody Moore out of St. Louis, Missouri. I appreciate you. Thank you, Melody Moore. Angela Denise. That's right. Can't stop, won't stop. Put those 9s up. Put them up. Let's get this fire going. You know what I'm saying? Ebony Ma'at out of Baltimore is in the building. Be More. What up, what up, what up? Hopefully I'll make a visit down there as well, Ebony. Come and see you. Emmy Gilbert out of Queens. Queens is in the building. You right around the corner, Emmy. You need to come on down to the studio, man. Make an appearance. Stop playing. Kendall Woods with the 999s. I see you. Ashe, and do to you. Andre Knott. Yeah, let's get the spiritual food, man. We got to eat. It's early. We got to eat, right? The best hugs in the land. Sybil Odom Bay is in the building. And I think Sybil got the secret recipe to get in that secret 9 now. She's been on there several times now. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much for being here. And last but not least, Shanta Murphy. Let me know where you're from, Shanta, so we can shout you out and get you connected. Listen, man, we got to deal with this. We got to deal with this with the indigos, man. We got to deal with the indigos. It's a heat wave right now. Energy's moving crazy. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not noticing what's going on in the news and in the tabloids, everything that's going on, everything's related to indigos. You know, but you got to pay attention. You got to be able to recognize an indigo in order to see what's going on, in order to recognize the movement. So we're going to be dealing with that a little bit today. So first and foremost, what is an indigo child? What is an indigo? Well, when you look at the color indigo, it gives you a nice clear indication if you paid attention to the teachings and what I've been showing you about the Wajatet or the chakras, okay? The indigo is the color that you'll see towards the top areas, okay, of your Wajatet, okay? They're sometimes associated with the third eye, right? The third eye is the pineal gland, as we have already broken down to you guys what that means in reference to its function, what it does. By now, if you're on this channel, you already know what the third eye does, what the pineal gland does. We shouldn't have to get into that. But when we're speaking in reference to indigo children or people who are considered indigos, that tells you a lot about these particular individuals and their conscious level, their level of consciousness, okay? Indigo children are essentially children who are not only born with an intense focus of the third eye, but it's sustaining focus of the third eye despite all of the elements that are around. Indigo children are those who are the oracles. They are the messengers of today's people, or whatever day and time you may be in. Whatever today is, they are the messengers for that time. Now, indigos have special characteristics that are noticeable through scrutiny. If you watch an indigo child and you watch how they move, you can figure out whether they're indigos or not. It's not hard to figure it out, especially those who are in tune with the higher levels of consciousness. There's a familiarity between all indigo children that you can pick up. So first and foremost, I want to break down some of that. Okay, here are 14 signs to know whether you are an indigo child or not. Okay, and I'll tell you why it's important in a second. You are strong-willed. You're an old soul. You're a free thinker. Okay, you're a headstrong nonconformist. You're a passionate truth seeker. You're perceptive and intelligent. You're highly intuitive. Okay, you want to change the world. You are empathetic and compassionate. You're a change-making leader. You're idealistic. You have a loner. You have a loner autonomous personality. That's a big one right there. The loner autonomous personality. You're highly creative. Highly creative. You'll find that very, very common in indigo children. And you have a strong connection with nature and animals. You have a strong connection with nature and animals. Now, why do you think that they might have a strong connection with nature and animals? Well, we're going to get into that in a second. But first, let's deal with the obvious ones that we see here. There are a lot of indigos walking the planet right now. A lot of them. And because of the way the Matrix is played out, because of the way I should say culture, the American culture is being played out, most indigo children are being overlooked or diagnosed incorrectly. Literally, they're diagnosing them because of their special talents. Okay? Most of these indigos you will find have the same traits that you may find in people who are diagnosed with ADHD. ADHD. This is why it's important that you need to realize, or I should say, pay attention to African spirituality so you know the difference between an indigo and a person with ADHD, because some of the traits are fairly consistent. They're fairly similar. Okay? So some of the traits that indigo children have, their strong self-esteem, their connection to source. Okay? They get frustrated by ritual-orientated systems that require little creativity. Okay? Let me give you some examples of indigo children, so you might be able to recognize the common thread between them all. Okay? One would be Prince. Prince was a indigo child. He was one that was connected to the divine. Okay? He wasn't as vocal about it as he should have been. I would say, I won't say that as he should have been, but as he could have been. Okay? But he was definitely an indigo child. He was one that you would see that cling to the color purple. That was his higher level of consciousness that he was trying to reach, but he was born as an indigo, and he remained as an indigo his entire life. Okay? Also, Michael Jackson was an indigo child. You can pretty much tell right out the gate, Michael Jackson was a special individual. These individuals tend to be loners. They tend to be people that are very, very creative. And you say, well, why? Why are they very creative? Well, they use the opposite side of the brain. Most of us we use the side of the brain that deals with logic. We're trained that way. We're born with the creative sense. We're born with the brain of a child and the eyes of a child. But later on throughout life, we're taught to use a more logical brain than our creative side, and we end up losing our indigo powers, I should say. Our third eye consciousness becomes weakened. The heightenedness of it, the sharpness of it becomes weakened by the foods that we eat, the environments that we're in, okay? The things that we take on, our diet, in our eye gate and our ear gate, it tends to distort our pineal gland, which is our third eye. So creative-wise is the way that indigos express themselves. It's the way that they speak. You'll find that indigos don't even talk much. They'll be in the cut. When you first meet them, they're very, very quiet, right? The only time that they're really comfortable talking is when they're doing it in a creative way. This is why most of them become musicians, because they can speak to people more easily in a creative way, in a creative sense, a sense of music or painting, arts, the fine arts, expressive dance, right? They gravitate towards these fields because they're using that side of the brain to speak more than the logical side of the brain. They're the ones, they are what we call the creators. You see, we wouldn't have inventions without indigo children. We wouldn't be as far as we are in technology without indigo children. Most indigo children are really good at technology as well. They can grasp on it. Some of them might not like it, but they're really good at it. They can grasp those concepts like lightning. It's nothing. You understand? Because they understand the elements, the true forces of the universe. They understand energy very, very well, these indigo children. Okay? So when you're dealing with indigo children, you have to realize that there's a way that they learn differently from other people. They don't learn the same way. You can't give them just a book, tell them to go down, sit down somewhere and go and read it and expect them to come back with the knowledge. With them, it needs to be expressed in the way that the universe communicates to all energy. You see, it has to be combined. Sometimes you have to give them pictures. You have to show them visualizations of what's going on. Otherwise, they won't understand it. They need to see the light. Huh? They need to see the light going back and forth. You see, this is why it's no question why indigo children, a lot of them end up becoming famous, and we put them under what? Flashy lights. Flashy lights. And when you put them under the flashy lights, they come alive. They come alive. They understand the colors. They understand the vibrations, right? They understand the movement, the energy, the flow, right? All of a sudden, they come alive. But these are the same individuals, when you put them in a classroom, they're quiet, they're dormant. They sit back. They're not even paying attention. They're looking out the window. They have no idea what's going on, right? And they might get diagnosed. We give them drugs. We say that there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them, not realizing that just because the whole world is messed up doesn't mean that that individual is messed up. You see? You see? You put a goldfish in a pool full of sharks. Ain't nothing wrong with the goldfish. He's in his wrong environment. Put him in his environment where he belongs. Put her in her environment where she belongs. You see? The indigo children are the leaders. They're the leaders. They're the ones that take us into the next star front. You see? So they get bored very easily. Very easily. You see? They get distracted very easily. They find multitasking, right? Something that they love to do. They love to multitask. They might not be good at it, but they love to do it. Why is that? Because they have to go with the flow of the energy. You see? They have to go with the flow of the energy. So therefore, if they're in a classroom and somebody on the other side of the classroom starts clapping or just starts being rude, they have to pay attention to it because there's a flow of energy that's affecting them. You see? They deal with energy. They don't deal with just logical principles that you write down in laws. Right? Because all that is influenced by interpretation and perception. They deal with the true laws of the universe, which is energy. You see? So the indigo children, most of them, the majority of them, especially here in the United States, they're being diagnosed with ADHD because they have common traits, such as having the difficulty with discipline and authority. They refuse to follow orders or directions. Right? They will not do certain things. For example, waiting in line is difficult for them. They just do not like authority because there's a higher authority between all human beings that is consistent, and that is of energy. We all have to obey the laws of nature. We cannot ignore the laws of nature. You see? So a lot of them might think outside of the box. You might say, this person's crazy. This person he's not like the others. That's the common thing that indigos have to deal with. He's not like the others. She's not like the others. She's not like everybody else. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. Supposed to do it is what they hear a lot. The indigo children. You see? And why is that? Why is that? Because the world that they've been put into, you see, the world that they've been put into has certain bylaws, certain theologies, religions. So their abstract thought, right, their abstract way of thinking is outside of the box of the common flow of most human beings. So they don't get along with a lot of people. So the majority of them realize this at a young age, when they realize that the way that they think is not like the other kids. It's abstract. So they remain quiet and they sit back and they watch. It's hard for them to express themselves. They usually get angry very, very quickly. You see? And they express that anger outwardly rather than inwardly. You see? A lot of them get mad real quick because the only reason why a person gets mad, gets angry, is because they feel they can't express themselves. The way they express themselves is not being accepted. So they get angry. This is why children at the age of 2, they call it terrible twos. This is when the child usually starts screaming a lot, yelling a lot, right? Crying a lot. Why? Because they haven't developed the skills of speech yet, right? But they know what they want. Those skills have come. That intuition of what they want. They want snacks. They want juice, right? They want to go play, right? They want that toy. They want you to hug them, right? They want you to love on them. They want attention, but they can't speak, so they can't express it. So they express it in anger. They cry, they yell, they scream. That's simply a deficiency in them being able to speak yet. They haven't developed that. So when you have a child that is like that, instead of screaming back at them, teach them the words to say to express themselves, right? And be creative. Teach them how to be creative in expression. And watch how quickly they stop crying. Watch how quickly they're able to express themselves more easily when you teach them how to speak during those ages. You see? That's why it's so important that children with speech impediments who can't speak, right, go through therapeutic methods to learn how to speak, because that leads to other things. You see the pattern here? When you can't express yourself, what did I tell you? The quickest way to lose your man is what? Take away his creative space, his ability to express himself. And guess what? That's when you'll find a man who's angry, right? This is when you find a man who's more abusive, right? Because you've taken away his creative space, right? These type of individuals become hard to deal with. Okay? You're lowering their consciousness when you do that. There are many indigo children here today that are dealing with this. And even worse, it's even on a higher level because of the power that they have of the third eye. A lot of them had a lot of foresight, right? We see hindsight and insight come naturally to them. Hindsight and insight come naturally to indigo children. Why? Because they are automatically aligned in the sacral chakra and the heart chakra. So hindsight and insight are directly aligned with one another. Their third eye is directly in alignment with the heart and the sacral chakra, the Wajete. So they're a lot smarter than the majority of people that you may come across, because they're in tune with the energy within themselves first before they even deal with the energy on the outside. So they can recognize the higher and lower self very easily. They know when they're doing something wrong. They know when something is not right according to energy. It's nothing for them to pick it up. This is why when you have people, who else is indigo child? This brother right here, Tupac. He was an indigo child, right? He was one that allowed the lower self to take control. He understood the power of the lower self and how to utilize the lower self to gain power, fame, riches, things of that nature. But he was also very in tune with the higher self as well. You see, both of them are both equal opportunistic powers that can create whatever you want for yourself. See, you could be a poet, you could be a thug, you could be abusive and a gangster at the same time. At the same damn time, you can pack all of that in one individual. All of that in one individual. They just get the flow of energy and how to use it in their favor. Who else? This fellow right here, and I wish I would have known him beforehand, but this fellow right here, Triple X, he was an indigo child. He was an indigo child. Do the research on this, brother. If you watch his last video, Sad, you will see only an indigo child will be able to put that type of artistry together. You have to be an indigo child in order to be able to recognize that. Unless the content was written by someone else, but it was written by him. You understand? So get into him as well. Learn his nature and see what he was about so you can understand what an indigo child is. Now, and also, this brother right here, if you don't know who this is Capital Steez. Capital Steez. Another brother that I didn't get to know, but a brother that was clearly an indigo child once you get to know him. See, I got to know him after his passing. I got to know him. You see, there's one thing you got to understand about indigo children. Indigo children are immortal. They're immortal. You say, how could you know him? He wasn't alive. They're immortal. That's the gift given to indigo children. You see, their energy never dies. You can't destroy their energy. It's immortal. So as humans, we try to destroy the only thing that you can do is change the energy and transform it into the next era, into the next realm. This is what, when you deal with religion, this is what religion is based on. Religion is based on these characters. The only thing that you can do is dictate time when that indigo child is supposed to be here and when they're not supposed to be here. And the rotation of the sun, this is why when we say happy birthday, we say happy solar return, because the sun is what dictates that. You see, I'll give you an example. Jesus was a representative of what? A sun deity. He was a sun god. He was the son of God, right? His crucifixion is indicative of the actual sun moving into a new constellation, the sun dying. Most indigo children do not live to be of old age. You won't find an old indigo child. You won't find them because they're only here for a certain amount of time. If you don't get the wisdom from them when they're here, you lose out. You lose out if you don't recognize an indigo child while they're here. You see, most indigo children don't make it to the next era. They're not supposed to. You see, when you see someone die, a lot of people say, oh, it's so wrong, this person died. You don't realize this person was not supposed to be here for this next era. This is written across throughout all time. Throughout all time. If you deal with Mithra, Mithra was a deity, right? That you will find dealing with the bull. The bull, right? The bull is significant to the constellation of Aries, right? And you will find him with this cow, with this bull, right? Riding the bull, showing love to the bull. And the next time you see Mithra, you will see Mithra crucifying or killing, assassinating the bull. The same bull that he was riding, he's killing it. Why? Because it's not about a bull. It's about a time period. When that time period is over, that time period is done. And it's like when 2019 comes, 2018 is over. You can't go back. So you must kill that era. Everything associated with that era must die. Do you understand? You see? The same thing with Helios. Helios was a deity, a sun deity. This is where you get the word holy from. It comes from Helios or sun. Holy Bible, the sun book. Same thing. You see, this is where you get the story of Moses. Oh, y'all still celebrating the golden calf or the era of Aries? That era is dead. We must destroy the golden calf. It's all about the constellations, the time periods. You see? Jesus, this is why you see Jesus in the nativity scene. You always see that bull next to the baby Jesus, next to the Son of God. Why is the cow there? Huh? Why is he there? There's a reason why. Because it represents a constellation, a time period of the Son of God. The S-U-N of God. This is the same bull, the same deity that you will find on the walls of Kemet. Het-Heru, who is the mother of who? Horus, the sun. Heru, the sun. Are you with me, family? So these indigo children are indicative of the properties of the same characteristics of the suns. the sons of God, the ones who the new generation, the younger children, so quickly grasp to. And let's be clear, this is not indicative to color. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with creed or color. This is all about energy. These individuals will either find themselves being assassinated. If they are not assassinated, they will end up killing themselves, because the universe will make sure that they do not see it to the next era. Do you understand? This is the part that people need to understand when it comes to dealing with other races and people. It's all about reflections of light. And there's all different colors of light. All different colors of light. There are Christ consciousness. People that walk around with the Christ consciousness all day, every day. See, I know religion taught you that there was only one Christ. I know that they taught you that. You see, but every now and then they slip in little scriptures where if you pay attention, you'll see that they're giving you the sauce, right? Even Christ said, greater works shall you do. The Christ said that, right? The Christ said that. Doesn't matter whether you want to call him Jesus, whether you want to call him Buddha, Muhammad, don't matter what Christ consciousness you pick up, or whether it's one of these artists who's walking around with the Christ consciousness, there's going to be one that comes after that does greater works than the one before. Aha! There's always going to be one that comes along that does it greater. So if you know that you're greater than a Muhammad, greater than a Jesus, greater than a Buddha, why are you walking around worshiping these other deities when you are the chosen one for this day and time? Does that make any sense to you whatsoever when you have this knowledge? You can't unsee what you just saw. You can't unhear what you just heard. The indigo children, you can also identify them by taking pictures of them. When you take pictures of them, a lot of times they'll have glares in the camera. Certain colors will glare off of these individuals. And you can use what's called an aura camera to try and figure out the aura of an individual, to try and figure out their colors. Okay? These individuals usually have that indigo color. If you look on the bottom left there, okay? The indigos are the ones on the bottom left. Okay? See, the Christ consciousness, as you can see, is they depict it as a white color, but it's actually clear. It's clairvoyant. You can see right through it. There's no color when it comes to a Christ consciousness. Okay? This is why it doesn't matter what deity that you put in front of it, no matter what color you put in front of it, whether you put a Jesus, a white Jesus, a black Jesus, a Buddha, don't matter what you put in front of it, because the Christ, it could be anything. It's an energy. It could be any color. It could be a damn animal. It's an energy. You understand? The Christ consciousness can come through the wind. It can come through the water. Anything that it takes to bring correction in this system is a caress. Anything that brings about the rebirth. That's what it means in Kemet, the rebirth. So it can come in the form of a flood. It can come in the form of what they said in the Bible, fire, brimstone. It can come in the form of a human being, an animal that rages and brings havoc. Do you understand? This is what a Christ consciousness is. It's not a good energy. It's not a bad energy. It's the energy that's in between. It's the what? It's the perfect nirvana. Nirvana. Huh? You better wake your ass up. Welcome to the lighthouse. We're ascending to higher levels today. Higher levels. Let me give you a little bit of insight. I'm gonna go back to this young brother here, because his symbol. Look at the symbol that he used to use. This young brother here. This was his symbol. And if you look at it closely, you'll see that it almost resembles the swastika. And remember what I told you what the swastika really was? Y'all remember that? How many people remember what the swastika really represented? He might not even know while he was living what that symbol actually represented. Huh? It's the symbol of life. Before the Ankh. Before the Ankh, there was this. This symbol was around way before anything. And it did not represent evil, anything like that. It represented those 4 rivers of Mount Meru that I spoke about earlier. So you need to do the research on that. See, these symbols will find and haunt these individuals for their entire lives, because this is who they are. They're messengers. You see? Like princes. Prince said, what did Prince say? Prince said, call me the symbol. What did he say? Call me the symbol. You see? It's the symbols that haunt them because they remember those symbols. They remember them in their past lives. They're the energies. They can't run from this. You see? It just takes a human form. It takes a human form. And a lot of them, when you look at them, they almost don't even have a gender when you look at them. They're like genderless. You're like, yo, is this person male, female? Is he, you know, what is he? What is he? A lot of them have that consistent thing going with them. Why? Because they don't see that. They don't see anything. All they see is energy. They are the energy. They could ascend to a Christ consciousness in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. All you have to do is surround them with the right pieces. Surround them with the right pieces. This is why they become famous. Why? Because the enlightened ones have to keep an eye on them. They have to keep an eye on them. You better give them what they want. It's almost like mutants. It's almost like mutants. In order to activate a mutant, what do you have to do? You have to put them in a situation of life and death. A life and death situation, a near-death experience. And all of a sudden their mutant powers come out. They can fly now. They can shoot. Right? Same thing with indigo children. If you put them in situations of duress, you will start to see their special qualities and the special things that they can do. How they can make something out of nothing. This is what indigo children do. But there's a war on them. There's a war on them in today's society. Why? Because we're in the age of Aquarius where information gets passed on very, very quickly. So now indigo children can wake up. See, it's cool when you got one indigo child running around here, the one that everybody runs, it's only one. But when you got multiple indigo children, all with their third eye sharpened and they all connecting with one another in different spaces of time, right? Not geographically, different spaces of time. You haven't noticed that the younger generation is studying the ways of the ancients? You haven't noticed that the younger generation knows about the Biggies and the Tupacs now? They know about the generations that you say, well, how you know about that? How you know about such and such? What you know about a Nat King Cole? I know who Nina Simone. What you mean you know about a Nina Simone? They're connecting with indigos and other spaces of time. This is a problem because they want to keep you, if this is a pie, they want to keep you here. They can't give you the full cipher of space and time. That's the symbol of what? The circle is the symbol of any of the deities, of God. It's the symbol of the divine. A circle with a dot in the middle, right? That represents the nipple of the divine mother. Once you connect to all the nun, the waters of nun that flow in the divine feminine energy, it's over. There is a war on all indigos in this day and time. And the reason why you need this information is because the things that you're going through could possibly be because of the fact that you are an indigo child and not know it. The things that your child is going through, your friend, your significant other, your partner, the things that they're going through possibly could be because they are an indigo child and might not know it. And you are diagnosing them the wrong way based on characteristics that you have preconceived or predefined from your perspective of the universe that was given to you. And these are clear traits that they are divine human beings and they just need to be put in their right environment so that they can blossom, so that they can be what they're supposed to be as the messengers, as those divine entities walking around. You see, you look at this symbol right here from capital Steve's, the 47, right? Those of you who paid attention to the lecture that I did in SoCal, or if you paid attention to the lecture that I did after that, that 4 and that 7, if you look at the 4 and the 7 in terms of energy, what you're looking at is actually you right here. This is you as an energy, right? If you look at the numbers 8, 7, and 5, and 1, 2, and 4, they're direct reflections of each other, right? So if you look at the number 47, 4 and 7 are separated by what number? The number 8, the number of infinity. These are infinite beings, and these symbols find them. It finds them, whether it be through numbers. Numbers are symbols, you see? So these, what I should say, visual aspects, creative aspects of defining energy will find these individuals. You understand? You have to do the knowledge on this to understand what is going on here. So study these traits, study these signs. Because a lot of you that are on this feed are here because you are trying to figure out more about yourself. You're trying to gain knowledge of self, and the information is here, right here. If these 14 signs describe you to the T, you need to express yourself, because you only have a certain amount of time to do it. You see, some of the indigo children never ever live into fruition what they were supposed to do in their calling in life. So that energy finds another body, another host to bring about what needs to be manifested for that day and time. You see, because whether you do it or somebody else does it, the work has to be done. Ma'at has to be in effect. The universe understands the balance of the energies. They understand it too. This is why they give you Jesus and the devil, you know, things of that nature, to throw you off course a bit. So you think it's just one or the other. But really, they're one and the same. And they use one another to move about. But it's Ma'at that balances them out. If you notice, Ma'at, the divine feminine, is in the middle, right? This, I want you to understand something. This photo right here that you're seeing is the same as this photo right here. This photo is the same as this photo. You see, you have two opposite energies, the heart, which is heavy, and the ostrich feather, which is light. Two opposites on opposite sides. And in the middle, you have both of them, which come together. In order for Jesus and the devil to wrestle, they have to first put hands. They have to first shake hands. Do you understand? Are you getting it? You see, they can't arm wrestle unless the two arms connect. It don't work that way. In order for somebody, when you want to arm wrestle somebody, you come to an agreement with that person and you say, yeah, I want to touch this individual. Give me your hand, right? When people arm wrestle, it's a show of strength, but it's also a show of camaraderie. They say, yeah, this person is capable of arm wrestling me. Let's see who wins. Do you understand? It's a difference. It's a difference between shoot 'em up, bang, bang, or arm wrestle. That's what you do with your brother. That's what you do with your cousins. Huh? You don't arm wrestle somebody who's clearly weaker. You arm wrestle because there's going to be some you see? Don't ever get it twisted. Understand energy, family. More than anything. Understand your aura. Understand your place here in this world. And it's not to be following behind any deities, any type of gods as they want to name it. There's what is it, 4,200 different deities right now? That you really think that you got the right one? You picked the right one out of all of them. You just so happen to land, all the circumstances pointed towards you landing in the right spot. Man, our egos, man. Egos. It gets them every time. Egos gets them every time. To think that your interpretation, your perspective on the universe is the only one that's correct, it's out of here. That's including myself. Huh? What I do know is that if you deal with the law, you deal with the laws of nature, you can't go wrong. The laws of nature tell us that the sun is the most high. It tells us that the sun is above all of us. It can destroy whenever it feels like. The elements of nature can destroy any one of us, whether it be the sun, water, even air. All it has to do is leave. And we're done. As a matter of fact, you can't even have too much air. Huh? You ever try sticking your head out of a moving car on the parkway? You be... You got all the air you want. What's wrong, boy? Fire. Your heart is fire. It's an electrical pulse. That's fire. But you don't want to be in a house fire. You don't want to be overconsumed by fire. Everything balanced. Ma'at. With that being said, family, if you figure that you are an indigo child, I implore you, study thyself. More than you study anything that's going on around you, study thyself. Get out in nature, ground yourself, meditate, go within, seek within. All the answers that you're looking for are going to be there. But also, be careful. Be careful. Because there's an agenda out on you as a spokesperson. It's okay if you stay introvert and you stay in your little corner to them. But the moment you speak on how you feel, remember, because you've been quiet for so long, when you do speak, your words will have unmatched power. Unbelievable power. Beyond measure. People are going to listen to what you have to say because it's going to be the truth. It's going to be true of voice, or what we call ma'acheru. Ma'acheru. True of voice. So, with that being said, family, the Lighthouse has a couple events coming up. If this video did anything for you and you'd like to donate to the Lighthouse, you can donate to jamarmilton@gmail.com, jamarmilton@gmail.com via PayPal, or you can use Cash App, whatever you want to use if you'd like to donate to us. That's what keeps our studio running. That's what allows us to be able to do what we do as far as being able to stream simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. Shout out to the YouTube family. We are back. I appreciate you for being on. We do have Lighthouse Power Bracelets available. If you want to get you a Lighthouse Power Bracelet, you can donate to the Lighthouse PayPal. Donations of $50 or more will get you a Lighthouse Power Bracelet. Shout out to everybody that rocks their Lighthouse Power Bracelets, the meditation bracelets. They are back in stock. Okay? And the Lighthouse T-shirts, we are raising funds for Flint, Michigan with a Lighthouse T-shirt. So if you want to get your Lighthouse T-shirt, donate $30 to the PayPal at the bottom of the screen there. And you can get you a Lighthouse T-shirt. That's Lighthouse DETCLE. Okay. Also, what we got going on as far as trips are concerned, we're getting ready to head out to upstate New York, family. I'm going to be doing a lecture as well up there. Let me see if I can find. I think I have some promos for it. If I don't, put it in the feed, somebody, because I don't think I have it in here. But we're going to be doing a field trip to upstate New York. Here it is. And we're going to be paying tribute to our ancestors, homage to our ancestors, a bus tour from Rochester to Auburn. Come out and join us August the 4th. Come get with your family, okay? We're going to be giving a tribute to Frederick Douglass, Native American Chief Logan, Lunsford, and Harriet Tubman.
So come on out. It's $35 a person to hop on this bus and go on this tour. That includes the tour, the lecture, and it includes your food. So, you know, we got boots on the ground. Lighthouse, we're doing big things. That's why I asked you to put your name and where you're from, so that we can see where you at and make sure we got a lighthouse near you so you can get around your family, okay? Because your family is a lot larger than you think. You know, when you come into consciousness, a lot of us end up alone, but not here in the lighthouse. Here in the lighthouse, you got plenty of family that you can connect with from all across the planet, okay? Long Beach, California. We got Dallas. We got Atlanta. You know, whatever, however you want to see it. North Carolina, South Carolina. You got a lot of family. And speaking of family, we got the family reunion coming. If you want to be a part of the family reunion, that's August the 25th. We're going to be at Prospect Park right here in Brooklyn, New York from 11 to 7. We got the DJ coming out. We're going to have the bouncy houses for the kids. Man, it's going to be crazy. So come on out. Join the family reunion, y'all, and connect with the rest of your family. If you want to meet all the people at the Lighthouse, all these hundreds of individuals that we have here that have already come out, and the thousands that are waiting to come on out, then you know, book your flight. And I think we got an Airbnb going on, and we, you know how we do. We do it big. So, you know, come on out. Also, in concordance to today's lesson, if you want to get your aura right, you want to balance some things out, you want to contact Queen Latifah Foster. If you want to figure out what your aura is and you want to balance out your energies and get your Wajatet, or what we call the chakras, in alignment, ease some stress and tension and things of that nature, contact Latifah Foster, okay, Elevated by Touch. She does Reiki sessions, and these sessions will help to get you back into alignment, to recognize, you know, who you are, where you are. You know, and because you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. You got to recognize, you know, your energy and what you're giving off here in the universe. So be a part of these situations, man, and get right and back in alignment. With that being said, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. Dua, 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 dua. Ashe.